morning. Welcome back to the second chapter of the Gospel of Mark. This is a great story. It tells the story of Jesus coming back to the town of Capernaum. By now, the news has spread. People know that he's a miracle worker. He's a great teacher. He's got authority to drive out demons. He is the man. It says that Jesus came to this house where he's teaching, and all the crowds come in. The place is so packed. There's so many people that there are 4 gentlemen that are bringing their paralyzed friend on a mat to try and get to Jesus. But they can't get into the house. It's shoulder to shoulder. It's more packed than a Tokyo subway commuter train at peak hour. And so they do whatever the logical person would do, right? They go up to the roof and they start digging their way through. So houses would have had a staircase up to the roof, and basically they would have been starting to dig away, using whatever they could to get through the old clay and the wood, and basically getting their way to Jesus inside. Imagine you're in there, okay, you're in the room, and suddenly you start feeling these drops of clay and dust, and you're looking up and there's these guys clawing their way through the ceiling at you. It's an amazing scene. How desperate were those 4 friends to get to Jesus, to bring their paralyzed mate. They literally tore apart the roof of a house. And I'm faced with that challenge. How desperate am I to get to Jesus? How desperate are we to get to Jesus? How desperate are we for our friends to get into the presence of Jesus? And Jesus takes note. It says, when he saw their faith. And I wonder whether faith is where desperation and conviction meet. If we are convinced that he is the answer, then we will do anything to get into his presence, to hear his teaching, to bring our needs to him. But if we doubt that he could or even would help us, if we continue in our old familiar ways with no hunger, no desperation, no conviction, then we blend into the crowd. I think of this crowd on that day. There were many people there just waiting, listening, watching, suspecting that Jesus might do something, but not really standing out. The crowd never really exhibit a sense of desperation, but these 4 men do. And they claw their way through that roof to get their friend into the presence of Jesus. Desperation coupled with even an ounce of conviction that Jesus is who he says he is, that can make all the difference. I want to encourage you, don't be afraid of coming to the end of yourself, your own intelligence, your own abilities, your own answers, because it's when we come to the end of ourselves, when we sense a desperation and a hunger to be in the presence of Jesus, that's where faith can be birthed.